Coming up, two countries devastated by a massive earthquake. Find out how people in our area are helping.
The sooner we can get there, the more lives we can actually save.
Plus, after this controversial event, Penn State finds itself a not-so-great top 10 list about freedom of speech.
And a beloved former state college coach gets big-time support from his school as he faces a life-and-death fight.
We haven't been able to replace the volume that left when he hasn't been around as much. So.
The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Natalie Calzatoni.
And I'm AJ Sisson. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, search and rescue operations continue in Turkey and Syria today after a series of major earthquakes struck the region 4 days ago, killing thousands. Reporter Juan Mendez shows you how Center County's Turkish community is coming together to help.
Rescuers pulled more survivors from collapsed buildings this week in Turkey and Syria after the devastating earthquakes. At least 20,000 are confirmed dead and more are missing. 5,000 miles away, here at Penn State, Turkish students are closely watching and worrying about family and friends back home.
All of the region is affected by the earthquake. So you cannot go to your relative, your parents, your, cousin, whatever, and stay there because their building was also collapsed.
This is the most powerful earthquake to hit the region in centuries. But what exactly made it so destructive, and what is the science behind it?
The earthquakes were devastating because they occurred shallow and close to densely populated regions. But it's really the sort of juxtaposition of strong shaking and human-made structures that produces the damage, which causes the devastation that we see in earthquakes like this.
Governments and nonprofits worldwide are providing aid. The Turkish Student Association at Penn State is also taking a step.
We have established a safe way of pooling all the money that we can get from anybody who's willing to donate. We're matching this with the help of the Penn State professors, and we will be using this nonprofit organization to send it over to Turkey.
And they'll do it through a grassroots community effort.
Just try to help however you can.
Unified, I feel like we can reach those people in need faster than as a single country than possibly could.
With the combined use of the ABAP platform and secure site bridge to Turkey, money raised will be sent to Turkey to help with food, water, sleeping bags, clothing, and other basic needs. Many victims are outside in the cold without any shelter.
The sooner we can get there, the more lives we can actually save.
In University Park, I'm Juan Mendez for the Center County Report.
Other organizations helping include the International Rescue Committee, Project Hope, UNICEF, and Global Giving.
Pennsylvania U.S. Senator John Fetterman is still in the hospital today undergoing medical tests. Fetterman felt lightheaded during an event in Washington 2 days ago. The 53-year-old had a stroke last year. Doctors say this latest health issue shows no evidence of another stroke. Fetterman was among the politicians attending President Biden's State of the Union address this week. But the speech itself drew one of the smallest TV audiences in years. Paloma Freund has reaction from State College.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Biden was greeted with cheers and jeers at his State of the Union address. In the 73-minute speech, he urged Congress to help him finish the job of rebuilding the economy. Other key points included policing, infrastructure, and tax reform. But how many heard his message? The speech had the smallest TV audience in 3 decades, and in my informal poll of about 20 people on Penn State's campus, none had watched it.
I didn't know it was on last night.
Not everyone may have watched President Biden address the nation last night. However, many caught snippets of it through other platforms.
I was in a meeting last night, but I just saw little bits about it on social media.
Biden's age is also a growing concern among many voters. A new AP poll shows a majority of Democrats don't want him to run again. Voters we talked with had mixed reactions.
As much as I don't like him, I almost think it's like elder abuse, the way he's being used and spun around.
I would like to see somebody younger in office, but more politicians are older than we think they actually are. President Biden just happens to look his age.
I think we should be focusing more on having an ideal candidate and somebody who is for the people and is going to be a good president for our nation.
If he won again, Biden would be 86 by the time his presidency ended. In State College, I'm Paloma Freund.
It's hard to believe, but the first presidential primaries are now less than 1 year away.
In other political news, the Pennsylvania House is now in Democratic control for the first time in 12 years. Democrats swept 3 special elections this week, giving them majority control by a slim margin of 102 to 101. A Pennsylvania judge ruled this week the state's system of funding education falls short and violates students' constitutional rights. The case involves a lawsuit that's almost 10 years old. The judge found the state has not fulfilled its obligations to students, especially in poor districts. An appeal to the state Supreme Court is possible.
Penn State has landed on a national list of worst universities when it comes to freedom of speech. Noah Georgiolis has the story.
When student group Uncensored America brought the far-right Proud Boys founder to Penn State last fall, it sparked heated debate over free speech. Racist off campus! The university allowed the event to go ahead, but then canceled it when things turned violent during a protest.
It's very concerning. I mean, universities are supposed to be kind of the hallmark for free speech and expression of ideas, and if that's a standard that we're not upholding, that's great cause for concern.
The Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression called the cancellation a First Amendment rights violation. The university cited escalating violence for the shutdown, and police in riot gear and on horseback moved in.
And the next thing you know, the person in front of me just collapsed, and I start inhaling something, and I wasn't able to see for a while, and then I had realized that I was in the target of pepper spray.
The students I talked with had plenty of reaction.
I feel like more revamping of the student organization so they have more of a platform to voice their opinions on whatever they feel.
The only way to make that more a more positive situation would just being willing to to listen more to both sides of the situation.
Campus could hold events from where students can come and share their thoughts and what should be on their views of freedom of speech.
Along with Penn State, the University of Pennsylvania also made the list. In University Park, I'm Noah Georgiolis for the Center County Report.
Collin College in McKinney, Texas was named the worst college on the list.
The historic Center County Courthouse will undergo renovations this year. The Bellefonte landmark, built in 1805, is in major need of repairs to the outside. The roof and retaining walls are a key focus because they deteriorated over the years. The county administrator says exterior construction may be an inconvenience to the downtown community.
We're going to have to do it during the day, which means we're looking at road closures and possible relocation of court operations for upwards of 6 to 8 months.
The county hopes construction will begin sometime this year.
After a warm week, cooler weather is here for the weekend. We have the forecast coming up.
Plus, meet a very young Central Pennsylvania High School graduate. Also coming up, a full contact sport heats up in State College with an event called the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Hundreds of ready-to-eat food products in at least 9 states, including Pennsylvania, have been recalled. The reason? Possible listeria contamination. The CDC says eating listeria-contaminated food can cause a serious infection. The recall includes sandwiches, salads, yogurts, and wraps sold under dozens of brand names. It applies to products with a sell-through date of January 31st through February 6th.
A young Pennsylvania student is making headlines because of his high school graduation, and you'll be shocked at how old he is. David Balagoon is just 9, and he recently graduated from Reach Charter School in Harrisburg. He's now taking classes at Bucks County Community College in Newtown. The 9-year-old hopes to become an astrophysicist once he finishes college.
Now, another story that might surprise you. Did you know State College has a roller derby league? The unique group brings together people of different ages for some full contact fun. Alexis Yoder has more.
If men have football, women have roller derby.
We have a penalty. I heard a penalty, but
That's what Helen Sundquist of Bellefonte says. The former skater and her daughter Libby watched the 11th annual St. Valentine's Day Massacre at State College's C3 Sports Complex.
It's a great organization for women,
by women, empowering women.
This is one of the top events of State College area roller derby, nicknamed SCAR. Skaters from all over Pennsylvania and surrounding states came to see the event. SCAR has 4 teams made up of adults of all ages.
It's just wanting to try something new usually, prove something to yourself, try, or they've done skating in the past and they want to see what they can do with it in a contact sports setting.
The hard-charging, physically demanding roller derby league welcomes skaters of all genders, backgrounds, and careers, including college students. Elizabeth Kelly studies plants as a grad student at Penn State and picked up roller derby to relieve stress.
When I came to grad school, I was like, I need an outlet. I need something to get me out of the lab, and so then I joined, and I haven't looked back. It's been great.
But the games aren't even the best part of the sport for Kelly.
I enjoy the physical aspects of it, but the best part about it is the community. It's this group of people who are just so welcoming and accepting of anything and everything.
The tight-knit community keeps skaters and fans coming back to the track.
I am still connected to all the derby players that I skated with, even though, you know, she's my 9-month injury, as a birth or pregnancy is called in the derby community.
She hasn't laced up in 7 years, but Sunquist still holds roller derby close to her heart. That passion spread to her daughter.
I don't need to pass my skills on to her. She is already fierce and independent, and I would not mess with her.
I like that I get to see my friends, and I also like just yelling for my mom's friends.
In State College, I'm Alexis Yoder for the Center County Report.
Both the Women's and Men's Flat Track Derby Associations represent hundreds of roller derby leagues around the world.
Good afternoon, and what better way to end out our work week than on a cloudy but also windy note. We're seeing some winds of change here in Happy Valley. Currently temperatures are 41 degrees, all under overcast skies as I just mentioned, but look at that real fuel temperature. It's only 34 degrees. That's thanks to a nippy west wind coming out at 12 miles per hour. Temperatures across the mid-state. West of State College, you're experiencing 30s right now, but it's a bit toastier as you head down towards the Susquehanna Valley. Temperatures are still sitting largely in the low to mid-50s at this hour. Now, across the entire state, wind speeds are around 10 to 15, even upwards of 20 miles per hour. That's thanks to a cold front that moved through our area early this morning and overnight. And that you can easily see on our radar and satellite. Where it's sunnier, it's warmer outside. Temperatures are in the 50s again between Harrisburg and Philadelphia, but a bit cooler where we're seeing some more cloud cover west of State College and up towards Lake Erie. So, how do we plan out our rest of our day? As you head home from work and head out in the town tonight, bring a jacket because it's going to be pretty chilly outside, mid to upper 30s and forecasting by around 9 o'clock. Overnight, we chill out some more, but we'll be very seasonal overnight. We'll go for a low around 25 to say 30 degrees for us in State College, but do note the winds are going to be dying down, so it's going to be nicer as we head into the day tomorrow. So as you head out from work this evening, again, west of State College, west of the Allegheny Plateau, it's going to be mainly cloudy, but you may want the sunglasses east of, say, Harrisburg tonight. We all get in on some more clear action throughout the evening and overnight hours, and by tomorrow morning, we're going to be very sunny. It's going to make for a gorgeous sunrise tomorrow morning. So our forecast for today, we have one more day before we get to that sunshine. Mainly cloudy skies, dreary, but a bit warmer than average. The forecast high, 42 degrees, and we stay breezy overnight. The forecast low is 28 degrees. For our day tomorrow, we see some more sunshine, we reduce those winds, and we go for a high near 41 degrees under mainly sunny skies. But then the rest of our 7-day outlook, for our Super Bowl Sunday, we stay mainly dry. Temperatures do rise to near 50 degrees. And then by early next week, we hit 50 degrees on Tuesday with a few clouds. We stay very warm through Wednesday and Thursday, and I think we may touch 60 degrees on Thursday.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm just glad it's not going to be as cold as it was in the weeks beforehand.
Yeah, last week it was freezing, but I'm glad it's warming up a little bit for Super Bowl Sunday. But speaking of Super Bowl Sunday, let's toss it over to Anna Camden for sports.
Eagles fans across Pennsylvania are ready to watch their team in this weekend's Super Bowl. We check in with our team in Arizona. And a local high school team comes together to support a former coach who's facing a tough battle. Sports is next. I'm Anna Camden with sports. It's Super Bowl weekend and just 2 days until the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Kansas City Chiefs in Arizona. Center County Report's Zach Gershman and Gabe Njiri are in Glendale, and they say excitement is building for the big game.
Day 4 wrapping up here from the Media Center. Zach Gershman joined alongside by Gabe Njiri for the Center County Report. Gabe, here on Radio Row, we've had the biggest and best personalities, whether it being Stephen A. Smith or Pat McAfee, or the NFL stars like Micah Parsons, or the Hall of Famers like Joe Cool, Joe Montana. The stars were definitely all around, but the stars were also at the Eagles media availability, where you had the chance to speak with Miles Sanders, and we also heard from quarterback Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts had quite a bit to say today. He kind of started off by saying the standard's a standard when it comes to his team, just preparing the same as the rest of the season. But he also said he's not really worried about the outside noise at all. It was brought up to him that the Eagles are a 2-point favorite. Said he didn't care. Also brought up to him that the last 2 Super Bowl winners also stayed at the same ranch and hotel. Said he didn't even know about it. So clearly he's just focused on what's inside the room right now. But more importantly, for you Center County viewers, Miles Sanders said if there's one reason to watch the Super Bowl, it's because your boy is in the Super Bowl.
Showing some Penn State love for Miles Sanders. Signing off here from the Media Center.
Kickoff for the Super Bowl is 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. Penn State has a team of 11 student journalists in Arizona covering the game and working with the NFL, Fox Sports, and the Associated Press. And one other note, the director for the Fox broadcast is a Penn State grad, Rich Russo. This will be the 5th Super Bowl he's directed. Penn State football is into winter workout season now. Coach James Franklin holds a new news conference this week to look ahead to next season. He mentioned new Nittany Lions Malik McLean and Storm Duck passing their physicals. Among transfer portal acquisitions and questions, Penn State has another question mark going into next season. Who are the new team leaders?
Across the board, we would say that there is a clean slate to a degree, that there's going to be competition kind of across the board at all these positions. But as you know, we're going to have to put somebody out there first. Based on how the season ended and Drew's role last year, then that would be him.
Quarterbacks Drew Aller and Bo Pribula now step in after Sean Clifford's departure. And the Nittany Lions have a new walk-on, State College High School quarterback Finn Fermineck. He made the announcement on Twitter. He joins Carson Kiesewetter of Bishop Guilfoyle High School as the second walk-on from District 6 football this offseason. The 6'4" Fermineck passed over 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns, also rushing for 600 yards and pulled down 15 receptions. But with Penn State's crowded quarterback room, he'll likely be a tight end prospect. Penn State men's hockey is off this week and getting some much-needed rest as injuries start to pile up. The Lions are coming off a split last weekend at Ohio State. Freshman goalie Noah Grannon got his first career Big Ten win Friday after Kevin Wall scored with just over 2 minutes left. The team lost Game 2 while playing without 4 regular starters. Top-ranked Minnesota comes to town next weekend. The Nittany Lion men's basketball team heads to Maryland tomorrow, trying to break a 3-game losing streak. They faced Wisconsin at home Wednesday night, and the two teams needed overtime to decide the winner. In the end, the Badgers walked out with the win and handed Penn State only its second loss in the BJC this season. Jalen Pickett finished with 17 points and 8 assists. The Lions' hope for a tournament berth are now in deep trouble. And in high school hoops, the State High Little Lion boys had a chance to hang another banner this week. They hosted 19-2 Cumberland Valley for the Commonwealth Division title. This one was back and forth early on and went into the half tied at 28. But State High still built a double-digit lead. The Lions won 61-45. They now play in the Mid-Penn Conference Tournament next week. This season has been a great one for the Little Lions. Reporter Dugan Lloyd shows you one source of inspiration for the team that you might not know about.
State High is enjoying a dream season, winning a division title to cap off its first winning year since 2019. But this team is playing for much more than just wins and losses, and their cause has a name.
Rudy is that type of person that is positive all the time, and he makes you feel like you're his best friend even if he just met you. So he brings people in, and his positivity is contagious, and it's hard to not smile when you're around Rudy.
Rudy Burris has been making people smile since he played for the Harlem Globetrotters in the 1980s. After his playing days, Rudy made the transition to education, where he served as a special education professional and boys basketball coach in State College since 1997. His selfless passion for helping kids turned him into a local icon.
Again, the joy that he brings into a gym, we haven't been able to replace the volume that left when he hasn't been around as much. So, yeah.
But almost 2 years ago, Rudy received information that would change his life forever. He was diagnosed with colon cancer and later Hodgkin's lymphoma. The cancer has recently spread. While he and his family fight this battle, his story has become a rallying cry for the players.
I mean, that's powerful. I mean, that's a guy that I've known since I was 3 years old, and to see him go through something like that, I would want him with me every step of the way. He's been in this program for years and years, so it's really unfair not to have him with us.
The Little Lions have honored Rudy all season with shooter shirts spelling out Rudy on the front and the message "Fight Together" on the back.
Every single time before we take the court, we're saying Rudy's name, and we know that whatever we do, it's for Rudy.
Rudy's impact can be felt not only on the court, but off it. Here in the stands behind me, where chants of Rudy, Rudy, Rudy broke out going into the fourth after finding out that he was watching on a live stream.
I think it shows you all the different areas of town that he has touched and all the people. Anytime that you do anything and any of the fundraising that we've done, people come out in droves to support Rudy.
Rudy's wife, Teresa, runs a GoFundMe page for his medical bills. It's raised $90,000 from over 850 donations. The two now live outside Philadelphia, where Rudy will continue with bi-weekly chemotherapy. But this week, he was able to watch the big game virtually and saw his boys realize the dream of winning a division title. In State College, I'm Dugan Lloyd for the Center County Report.
If you'd like to support Rudy's fight, you can help by searching "Helping Rudy Fight Colon Cancer and Lymphoma" on GoFundMe. We wish him the very best. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the anchor desk.
Well, it's such a sad story, but how inspirational for the Little Lions.
Agreed, so inspirational. And coming up next, for the first time in a decade, a popular singer brings her concert tour back to State College. Tonight, the Bryce Jordan Center welcomes back country star Carrie Underwood to State College after 11 years. Her concert starts at 7:30. It's the latest stop on her Denim Rhinestones tour, which kicked off last fall with country singer Jimmy Allen. Underwood last performed at the BJC in 2012 for her Blown Away tour.
Well, my mom loves Carrie Underwood, so she's quite jealous that she can't be here tonight.
Well, will you at least be going to the show tonight, AJ?
Unfortunately, I couldn't get a ticket in time.
Oh, man.
Well, that's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us next Friday for our next local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news and watch our stories on our Center County Report social media. You'll find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a great weekend.